All right, boom. We got Meek versus Drake. The backstory behind the beef. Let's get into it right now.
What up, guys? It's your boy Quake, and man, I love rap beef. You know, I'm a huge fan of 50 Cent, so he's always beef with a lot of people in hip hop. And I just love the competition. I feel like it brings the best out of each artist, and I feel like it needs to happen more as long as it doesn't spill over to the streets and it gets violent and actually turns to real beef, not the beef that's just social media beef or whatever. And this beef that I'm going to talk about, I feel like got rushed and overlooked. And what do I mean when I say that? Well, if you can tell by the video title, I'm asking the question, who really won the beef between Drake and Meek Mill?
Are you tired of the same mid-streamers? Are you tired of the same redundant content? Well, look no further. Hi, I'm TreFromGary. Follow me. Follow my Twitch. I feel like Meek Mill did a lot better than people give him credit for. In the entire, you know, he had a lot of mess ups in the beef. And I definitely think that he could have won the court of public opinion, but
nigga, you think that shit gonna go like that?
Nah, man, he ain't going down like that.
Shit is crazy, man. Look at you seen the clip? The nigga looked like he had the whole motherfucking Canada singing this shit.
Whole country.
Fuck that. You know if that was me, I'd flipping on the bitch everybody. Shit, nigga had Will Smith out there, son. That's a real Philly move. That nigga gonna fuck around and shoot that nigga. What the fuck you supposed to do?
So you're probably saying, Quake, you're crazy. Obviously, it was Drake. I mean, he had the better records, better delivery, and just overall had the majority of the public.
He didn't have the best diss, if I'm being honest. Back to Back is a good song. It's not a good diss. Back to Back is a good song. It's a good song. It's not a good diss. If you go back and listen to that song, diss song, whatever you want to call it, it's not a good diss. He's not really dissing. He just... Bro, he's dead ass just poking fun at Meek Mill. He's just making jokes, bro. He's not really dissing him. Is that a world tour, your girls tour? Okay, yes, Nicki Minaj is a bigger artist than Meek Mill, and she was back then. Okay, bro. My girl's popular. What the fuck you want me to do about it? Cry? Like, I don't know, bro. What else? You getting bodied by a singing nigga? I like how Drake just likes to claim, he likes to claim victory. Even with the Family Matters song, he was saying at the end, you dead, this shit is over. He was just trying to, like, say that he won. Even though that he didn't even give Kendrick a chance to respond or, like, say anything afterwards. I don't know.
Public on his side. Well, me, I like to look at beefs like this. There's a battle and there's a war. So let me break it down. The battle is the initial start of the beef and the short-term result of the winner. So when you look at the battle, you look at who started the beef, what records were presented in the beginning, and who the general public sided with the most, and that's usually who you determine who's the winner. And in the battle, most people get swayed by the hype. Who is the general public siding with? I mean, if you look at the Drake versus Meek Mill beef, a lot of people were siding with Drake because he's the hotter artist. And on top of that, a lot of the media outlets were siding with Drake. So it influenced the general public of who to side.
Bro, media plays such a big role in what the public thinks and believes. So many people don't think for themselves, and it's crazy.
On top of that, the music that Drake was releasing
not think for themselves, form their own opinions.
Was obviously a lot better than what Meek Mill had with Wanna Know. And what is the war in terms of beef?
I just want to know, if you ain't right there running through the six shit, tell me who Quentin Miller was running through the six with. We the type of niggas tell you.
War is the long-term result of the beef. What happens after the initial battle?
I want to say that Meek won the war because of the ghostwriter allegations. Well, it's not even allegations. It's true. The reference tracks, all that other stuff. But Drake fans don't give a fuck. And most people don't give a fuck. And that's like, you know what I'm saying?
Does the artist excel after the beef, or does the artist decline? Is his career ended, or does it continue to prevail? And that's what I look at.
And even after they made up a couple years later, like in 2018, Meek Mill music has still never, like, recovered from the loss from Drake because people still can't take him seriously.
In terms of...
And most of that is due to his fault. Because he just kept taking L's after that.
The
But
beef. I look at the battle and the war. Who won each of those things? Sometimes the artist wins both. Sometimes the artist only wins one. And that's what I'm looking at in terms of Drake versus Meek Mill. But before we get into all of that, let's get into how the beef initially started. Back in July 2015, Meek Mill decided to randomly hop on Twitter one night and just take shots at people in the industry, and more specifically Drake. Now, why did he do this towards Drake? Well,
I compare me to Drake too. He don't write his own raps. That's why he ain't tweeting my album, because we found out.
a lot of people say it's because he was upset that Drake didn't tweet out that his new album Dreams Worth More Than Money was available. So with Meek Mill being in his emotions, he decided
He ain't even write that verse on my album. If I would have knew, I would have took him off my album. I don't trick my fans. LOL.
to sort of air out Drake's secret. And this really wasn't a secret. If you look at album credits, a lot of the time you can tell who wrote the record, but the general public usually doesn't. They sort of just listen to the music and don't really care. So Meek Mill decided to tweet that Drake doesn't write his own lyrics and that he has a ghostwriter for a lot of his songs, and more specifically the song Rico, which was on Meek Mill's album. And Meek Mill said that he would have not put the song on the album if he knew initially that Drake did not write his verse on Rico. And this is where the battle portion of the beef begins, because a lot of hype was created on Twitter, and a lot of people did not believe what Meek Mill was saying, because Drake is arguably one of the best rappers alive in today's time. So a lot of people thought that Meek Mill was just saying this to create hype for his new album and that Drake would just ignore it. After all this hype on Twitter, Drake was silent. He did not say anything. So a lot of people were wondering, is this just for hype, or is Drake actually going to respond? A few days later passed by, and on OVO Sound Radio, Drake decides to drop the first response track, Charged Up. And the initial response was crazy, not because the track was really amazing, but because Drake had officially got himself involved in his first rap battle. And this was out of nowhere. Remind you that Drake was silent during the time that Meek Mill was dissing him on Twitter. So the hype was insane. People were going crazy. The beef is officially official. Now the ball is in Meek Mill's court. What is he going to say and what is he going to do? And this is where the tipping point in terms of Drake versus Meek Mill happened. Instead of responding with a track, Meek Mill decided to hop on Twitter and just say the song was Baby Lotion.
See, this is his problem. Niggas should have stopped tweeting, bro. Meek Mill is a better rapper than Drake. A lot of niggas are better rappers than Drake. And I'm not trying to hate Drake. I love the nigga music. But we gotta be honest. The nigga, I can't give him credit for why I don't know that he did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know if he's written for some artists before, like Kanye, but the songs that he written for Kanye ain't a crazy ass rap song. Like 30 Hours is a great song. I love that song. But it's not like I could have wrote that shit. And I never wrote a damn song in my life.
And soft. Now this was the wrong move in terms of rap battles. I would have
Yes, bro. If you rap battling, don't tweet, bro.
not
what the hell?
hopped on Twitter. I would have responded with a record, but Meek Mill's excuse was that he was on tour with Nicki Minaj and that he couldn't find a studio to record a response. And this was the final and really big tipping point in terms of who's winning this beef. Drake, within a day and a half, decided to respond again with another track called Back to Back, and this dropped randomly at
Not only did Meek Mill say it was Baby Lotion soft, but people was saying it was trash. So people was just saying that Charged Up was trash. I liked Charged Up too.
Night when everybody was asleep. So when everybody woke up, they were surprised with another Meek diss. And this was very, very surprising because we expected Drake to be sort of passive and not aggressive. But he took initiative and dropped 2 songs back to back, pun intended. And it was just insane. Meek Mill still hadn't released a diss song back to him, so this was looking very bad for Meek Mill. The general public was way on Drake's side at this point, and I don't think Meek Mill could really recover from this. And Meek had to really...
That's the thing. The nigga lost before he even started. Meek Mill lost before he even got a chance to get into the beef, bro. That's how you know niggas is biased towards Drake. Like, y'all didn't even give him a chance to respond yet.
Try and do something. So he found a studio, recorded the diss song 1-0, gave it to Funk Flex to premiere, and when the song premiered, it was sort of weak. A lot of people disliked it, and it was a very late response. I personally liked the beginning of the song, and then towards the end, it sort of got weak. But this initiated the stamp that Drake had won because 2 of the songs that he dropped were a lot stronger and a lot more aggressive. And this is where the battle portion of the beef sort of ended. A lot of people were on Drake's side. Whatever Meek Mill did, it didn't matter at this point. Drake had the better music out, and Drake was just simply the hotter artist with the better diss records. So at this point,
so what's the fallout between all of this? What is it? What happened after this?
The beef was over. A lot of people didn't pay attention to it anymore, and whatever happened after, people didn't really care about. A few months passed. Meek Mill after he got off probation, decided to drop a mixtape dissing Drake again. At this point, 50 Cent was involved in the beef. He dissed 50. A bunch of diss tracks started coming out, and these tracks were fire.
Why is it every time that Drake is in a beef, 50 Cent start dick eating? Nigga, y'all ever notice that?
But these tracks should have been released when the beef initially started. This would have saved
Niggas start eating Drake whole meat, nigga.
Meek Mill's career immensely at the time. So enough about the beef and what happened. Let's go back to my beginning theory of the battle and the war in terms of beef. And the general public mainly cared about the battle instead of the long-term war results. So of course, who won the battle? It was obviously Drake. There's no debate in that. Drake just completely destroyed him. His timing was perfect. The diss records were perfect. And he just got on wax. He got on records. He got on music. He didn't tweet. So obviously Drake won. And there's no denying that. Now let's pay attention to the more interesting part, and the part that I feel like the general public overlooked or didn't analyze.
What the fuck is Kevin Hart doing right here, bro?
Like, too well. And this is the war portion of the beef, the long-term results. Did Drake end up killing Meek Mill's career? The short answer is no. When Meek Mill dropped Dream Chasers 4, a lot of people were still anticipating it and wanting to downloading it, including me. And with that,
oh my god, Dream Chaser 4 got some hits on. It got some crazy shit on there.
that being said, the only thing that I can think of that Drake affected Meek Mill in terms of long-term was the fact that he beat him in a rap battle. And this was initially the first mainstream rap battle both these artists have. Meek got involved with a few beefs here and there, so did Drake, but it wasn't as big as this one. So with Drake beating Meek Mill in this rap battle, it sort of gave Meek Mill a strike as an artist and a rapper, and especially a rapper from Philly. A lot of Philly rappers are known to be well-known spitters and rap battlers. So what did Meek Mill do long-term to affect Drake's career? Well, he created this shadow of doubt, this dark cloud over his career, and this question will forever remain.
That's exactly, bro. Like, what? Who is Drake? Like, do we really know what is Drake?
Haunting Drake, and that is, does he write his own material? And this is a bad question to have looming around your career, because as a rapper, you pride yourself on writing your own material and being one of the best lyricists around. So this is why I lean towards Meek Mill when it comes to the war portion of the beef. I feel like that ghostwriting question that looms over Drake's career will forever haunt his career. And when people debate about who's the greatest rapper or who released the best projects, a lot of people will mention that Drake had ghostwriters, and it was proven that Drake had a few ghostwriters. Now, do a lot of rappers have ghostwriters? We don't know. Only a few rappers publicly admitted that they did. But a lot of rappers get help on hooks, and that's normal. But Drake got help on verses, and that's not good. That's not a good look as a rapper in terms of your career. A lot of people are going to ask the question, did Drake write his own material? And that shadow of doubt will forever haunt his career. And that's why I feel like Meek Mill won the war portion of the beef. Drake had that rap battle, and he won. But the question of did you write your own material is possibly one of the worst questions to be asked as a rapper. So to recap, Drake won the battle. That's no debate. There's no debating that. Anyone to debate that is just a Drake hater. But in terms of war, the long-term result of the beef, Drake did not kill Meek Mill's career at all. Meek Mill is still thriving. Even though Nicki Minaj broke up with him, Meek Mill is still getting streams, downloads, and people are still checking for his music. And the only thing that Drake did was beat him in a rap battle, which sort of puts a mark on his career in terms of losses. But Meek Mill has that shadow of doubt over Drake's career, and I think that will forever haunt him. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree or disagree with what I said?
What do y'all think, bro? Let me know.